What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at Oppo F5. Now in previous videos I told you guys that I wouldn't be reviewing any kind of Oppo's cause. Generally I just hate them. Competition Oppo or Vivo, I would just choose Vivo because Vivo's system is actually much more smoother. Also the camera quality is pretty much the same, but again Vivo just tends to be a bit better at them. But this time Oppo actually nailed it. Like literally V7 Plus looks like a piece of shit in comparison to this. So as you can see in my hand I have the most inexpensive version of this Oppo F5. So Oppo F5 actually comes in three versions: the F5 Youth, the normal F5, and the F5 6GB. So this is actually the 4GB 32GB variant, which is kind of good to be honest. V7 Plus actually comes with 64GB internal storage and it costs around like 23,000 rupees, whereas this is only 20,000 rupees. So if you want to gift this phone to your mom, if your mom doesn't just record any kind of videos or just doesn't fill up her storage, 32GB is more than enough. Then again they have another option of 64GB 6GB RAM, which is kind of hefty shit to be honest. If you don't even need that much of power in this smaller phone. But yeah, as you can see, this is the UI. The display is beautiful. So let's just take a look around the phone. As you can see on the front, you have a massive 6-inch display, 18.9 aspect ratio. The bottom chin is bit thicker than the upper one, which kind of bit annoys me. You got a 20 megapixel front camera over here. As you can see, again, if you come to the back, you have a very huge camera hump for that 16 megapixel shooter, a massive fingerprint scanner, and trust me, it is extremely quick. Like it's just mad quick. I can just play with it. The software experience, again, they are all trying to rip off iPhone, but this time around Oppo has actually changed their icons, whereas Vivo is just stuck with Apple icons, which is just shameful to be honest. But then again, if you go to the settings, there is nothing much new over here. You have some gestures, split screen. This is a MediaTek processor, not a Snapdragon. So for example, you can just hold it around, then you can just tap an app and then you go multi-window. Again, it looks extremely beautiful on this massive display. So yeah, you have app management, you have clone apps. Now clone apps only works on 3 apps. It doesn't even work with Facebook, which comes standard with this phone. Then again, we have game acceleration. Now for example, I have some most popular games over here, such as the Stack and Subway Surfer. If you go to the game acceleration app manager, there are no games over here. Like seriously, Subway Surfer is not a game for this phone. Runs on Android 7.1.1 logo. I seriously don't know what's with the manufacturers. Like even Samsung, they don't just provide 7.1.2. Then if you go to the display and brightness, you do get night shield, which works actually pretty good on this LCD panel. It just doesn't apply a orange layer over it. The display actually turns yellow. As you can see, it's much more natural effect than you get with the AMOLED panel. So as you can see, the camera layout is pretty much the same. You can also go for the full screen option to capture full 18.9 images. I seriously don't know. I own a Galaxy S8 Plus, but I will just love any kind of device which has a full screen display. Then you have beauty mode, panorama, and you do have a expert mode over here. But the funny thing over here is they try to rip off the Apple's zoom feature. Like literally, even OnePlus did it, but still the OnePlus animation is a bit different. Over here, they just straight out ripped it from the iPhone. And it just goes to the 4x cause it doesn't have a dedicated lens. They just wanted to give you that feel that you own a dual lens phone, which is just weird enough. Then you have this expert mode where you can actually adjust your shutter speed, like camera aperture, which is quite good, as all of these companies say they are camera phones. Let's just come to the front camera. As you can see over here, you do get that blur option, which works kind of perfect. Talk about the samples with the blur, it actually looks pretty much good. Again, without the blur, the images turned out to be pretty sharp. Again, if you come to the rear camera, it's extremely sharp, plenty detail in it. Like for 20,000 rupees, it's not actually bad. Now if you want to do low light photography, you have other options such as J7 Pro. Now if you come down to the specs, let's just go to the Antutu benchmark. 64K, which is quite good to be honest. That's same as Redmi Note 4. So yeah, this MediaTek processor is actually just as same as Snapdragon 625. Pretty much all of the sensors are bundled over here. Games actually run pretty good. As you can see, even in Subway Surfers, it's a bit lagging. It just happens for some time. Again, it's smooth. As you can see over there, you have heard of Chinese manufacturers copying another bigger manufacturers. Well, this time we are seeing a Chinese manufacturer copying another Chinese manufacturer. Going to the additional settings, navigation keys. As you can see, you have a navigation key option now. It's pretty funny that in iOS 11.2, Apple actually announced that the back sections would be actually renamed as the actual thing. So over here, it doesn't actually say back, it says additional settings, which is ahead of Apple's time. But then again, you have navigation gestures, and boy, navigation gestures are completely ripped off from Vivo V7 Plus. Yeah, for going home, you have to swipe up from the middle. Again, for back, you have to swipe up from the right. Again, for the control panel, you have to swipe up from the left. It's just totally same as V7 Plus. But the problem over here is Vivo's FunTouch OS actually has two recent apps panel. One is into the control center and again have a dedicated one. So over here, in order to access the recent apps panel, they have actually ripped off iPhone X. Yep, you have to actually slide up and hold down for a second. It's extremely slow to be honest. iPhone X feels much more smoother than this. It takes 2 seconds in order to recognize that you are actually holding your finger there, but it's just bad how they ripped it off. And I guess that's pretty much it for the review. Now the major downside over here is just lags in any kind of game which is actually optimized for the Adreno GPUs. So you are actually getting the same performance as mid Xiaomi device, but you are not actually experiencing that if you understand anything about optimization. Let me just give you a quick demo of facial recognition. You can just enable and voila, it works. Even on low light condition it does work. As you can see, that was pretty quick. But then again, this facial recognition can be easily fooled. It's just same as the J7 Pro, but if you live alone and you don't have some intelligent idiots beside you, you can actually use this feature. If you talk about camera performance, it's quite good. You can actually record videos with it if you have a YouTube channel. Then again, if you talk about the overall build quality, it's quite good. And those who asked me that does it actually look as same as the OnePlus 5, as the leaks for this phone were actually as 5T, but no, they don't actually share the same footprint. As you can see, OnePlus 5 is actually a smaller device. From the back, OnePlus 5 is way smaller, and OnePlus 5T would be just shoving a 6-inch display in this same body. They are not actually copying Oppo F5, I guess. While they were making OnePlus 5, they actually copied the Oppo's flagship, which is the R11, I guess, and these two phones actually look pretty much the same, but I guess this is a newer design. Again, the touch panel is not the most responsive, but I actually have a tapered glass over here, so I'm not commenting about that. Well, you have the J7 Pro, but J7 Pro kind of feels now outdated. It's not even fast as this phone. The games pretty much lag on it. That phone is actually made for like a 720p performance rather than 1080p. It has a unibody. I seriously don't feel a major difference when compared to a normal bolt-on metal body when compared to a unibody. Again, at 20,000 rupees, I don't guess this is a bad choice. If you have the budget, please go for it. It's good for your parents who don't have to do any kind of heavier stuff. If you want to game, you have many choices such as Lenovo Zoom Z2 Pro. Then again, you have OnePlus 2. Just thanks to Dewang Mobile Collection for providing me this preview unit so I can actually bring this review to you guys. See you in the next one. Peace.